Hi guys, welcome to Intellipaat SAS training session 1. What we are going to talk about is some basic stuff about SAS, what SAS is, how is it used in the industry that it's most relevant in, and a little bit about what it can do for a user. Okay, so we'll get started with knowing what SAS is. SAS is essentially used for analytical capabilities, reporting, and automation. It's a very popular tool in the analytics industry as of now, although there are many competitors like R and Python and other open source systems. But SAS still remains to be one of the most commonly used business intelligence tool across the analytics industry. What SAS essentially helps is it helps provide answers based on data, information through its mining capabilities. It helps users to get into data related insights. It helps users to build reports out of them. These reports could be periodic reports which could be reviewed by middle management or senior management in the business teams. It also helps majorly into automation of tasks. So tasks which are monotonous, which need to be repeated over and over again across different periods. SAS is a platform which can help in automation of all these tasks. Okay, so it saves a lot of effort when it comes to a lot of manual work and when it comes to a lot of monotonous work which needs to be repeated over time. SAS has been there in the industry for over 25 years now. And the industries in which SAS is majorly used is financial industries, pharmaceutical industry, telecom, and healthcare. And as you can see, the different functionalities that SAS can perform in these industries can vary from ETL, which is extract, transform, and load, reporting, data mining, which can vary from doing some basic analysis, deep diving into data, getting some business insights out of it, or it could also be a Hind analysis, which involves statistical modeling, utilization of statistical based concepts, predictive modeling, and forecasting. It is also used as a research tool in some of the sectors, and pharma and healthcare domains remain to be relevant in terms of research that is being done. For somebody to learn SAS, there is no programming background which is required. So anybody without a programming background can start learning SAS. But somebody having a SQL background, it actually helps with faster learning of SAS. So there is no prerequisite as such in terms of programming which is required for SAS. Out here you can see the different clients, the companies.
Yeah. So sir, how can an absolute beginner can learn this SAS?
Okay. See, SAS is majorly used in the industry and where different clients purchase SAS. Okay. But if it comes to, let's say, a beginner trying to learn SAS, what the person can do is download a SAS University Edition, which is a student learning version of SAS on his or her machine. And that's how, that could be the starting point of learning SAS. So SAS recently has launched a student's version and it's been launched for beginners where they can learn SAS in their own time.
Yeah. And does we
And
need to
you
have
can
a prior
find,
programming background to learn this SAS?
no, so as I said earlier that there is no earlier or prerequisite, there is no prerequisite as such for SAS. So no programming background needs to be there to learn SAS. That's how the programming language in SAS is structured like. But I also mentioned that if a user has prior knowledge of SQL, that actually helps programming in SAS.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and most of the top 500 Fortune companies do use SAS when it comes to business intelligence. And over time, more and more such companies are being aware of uh, the importance of churning information, the importance of deep diving into their own data, their own historical data to get more insights. And more companies are thus utilizing SAS to drive business decisions based on data insights. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the opportunities with SaaS, I think this could be a very relevant question, and it could come to mind, especially when one starts learning SaaS, what all opportunities lie there when one learns SaaS. So if you should try to understand it from a career progression point of view, somebody who learns SaaS can start as a business analyst, data analyst, and depending on the domain the person is working, let's say in a pharmaceutical space, uh, where a lot of research is being done, the person can start as clinical statisticians, right? And I mentioned earlier that SAS is also being used for ETL and data warehousing needs. So somebody can also start with data warehousing and for delivering the data warehousing needs. Okay. It is also being used in the financial industry for a very long time now. So somebody who learns SAS can also join in the profile of being a risk analyst. So there are different roles that people with having a SAS knowledge can play. And these are just some of the examples that I've covered. So overall, SAS provides excellent opportunity uh, to its users, and the application of SAS, it being across multiple domains, multiple industries, and as I mentioned, a lot of top 500 Fortune companies use SAS. So that actually uh, makes SAS a lot more important to be used in the industry.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, hi,
yeah.
sir. Actually, just one more question I wanted to know. It's regarding the model part. So if you can just let me know, like, what kind of statistical models can be built in SAS?
Okay, okay. I think that's a good question. So I mentioned that SaaS has been used over time, and the financial services industry especially has matured over time in terms of usage of SaaS. So not only they do reporting stuff and automation and ETL stuff, but they have also evolved in terms of developing predictive models and statistical models uh, over time. And SAS is something that is being exhaustively utilized for all these predictive modeling high-end analytics. And if you ask me what kind of models SAS can help us deliver, I think there's an endless list of different models that you can build with SAS. And some of the most commonly used terms in today in the industry, like big data, machine learning, and other stuff, other complicated stuff, SAS enables you to do that. Okay, so you can build all kind of statistical models, maybe from forecasting point of view, maybe from, let's say, regression point of view, or let's say from a segmentation, clustering, or machine learning. Different models are possible with SAS. Okay, now I would like to show you the interface of SAS University Edition, how the look and feel of the system is. And I'll just give you a very high level idea of what all different elements within this platform one needs to be aware of while using SAS. Okay. On the screen, you can see the code window, which is the play area, which is the main area where coding, the SAS programming is done. All the queries are written in this window, the code window. Then we have the log window where log related to all the queries which have been executed so far is being displayed. Okay. Then we have a results window where if a query is run and any output is expected to be displayed, that gets displayed. Okay. And in the output window, the data tables which get created, those are being displayed as a default. Okay.
What is the purpose of this log window?
Okay. So whenever we run any query, let's say I'm running a query to create a new data set. Whenever I run that query, execute that query, the log window essentially displays the log of running that query. So it essentially gives you first thing that the query has completed, okay, and what's the impact of that query. So it will give you whether the query was submitted or executed successfully or not. If it was not executed successfully, what were the errors or the warnings that were encountered. So it helps you keep a track of whether the code you are executing is going the right way or not. Okay, it helps you identify any errors related to, let's say, the syntax of code that you write in SAS, or it could be related to uh, something. It could have something to do with the data also.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
On the left side of the screen, what you can see is it's the folder structure. So SAS University Edition is a web browser based edition, and one gets to run it on either Chrome or Internet Explorer or Mozilla. Okay, and at the same time, one needs to have that connectivity with the physical system, as in your own machine or the computer. So that is where the left side of the screen, which is folder structure, comes handy, and you can then connect your browser-based session, SAS University Edition, with the physical files that lie on your system. So you can create your own folders on the left side, and then you can start connecting these folders with the physical files that lie on the system. And we'll come to physical files in a while. Now, SAS is majorly being used to analyze data. And when it comes to data, there are broadly two ways of getting the data information or different data sets into SAS. One is, and that is the most commonly used way, is to get external files into SAS. So one has to import external files into SAS. That's the most commonly used process of getting information into SAS to start playing on that information. Okay. The other process of getting information into SAS is to create data sets within SAS. And I'll just give you a small demo of how to create data sets in SAS. Okay. Out here, what I've done is I've written a piece of code which creates a data table for me. Okay. And this is this information is not lying outside of the system. This is something that I'm purely creating within the SAS coding window. So I'll just execute this and I'll explain what is being done here. Okay. And for executing the code, what I need to do is I need to select the code in full and then hit this icon on the left on top, which says, which actually displays the man running. So this is execute icon. And alternatively, what users can do is they can press F3, the keyboard F3 key, to execute this. So let me just run this by pressing this icon here. Now, it seems like a lot of stuff seems to have happened. But if you go to log and see what has happened, log displays the code that was first executed, and it tells you the outcome of the code. So example, what it has done is it has created a table with the name sample underscore data, which has 4 observations and 4 variables. And let me just show you how the data set looks like. Okay, so this data set has 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are also denoted as observations. And it has 4 variables, which are also denoted as columns. Okay, now this table makes more sense because it is being shown in a table format compared to the piece of code that we ran. Okay, and this table is what we are creating by writing that piece of code. Okay, makes sense. So ID, gender, age, and salary is something that we created, and we manually fed these values in this piece of code to create the dataset sample data. I can add more values down below, and I can increase the size of this dataset. Okay. Now this is a manual way. It has its own challenges, but this is not the most commonly used way of creating datasets in SAS. Okay. Now the other part, which is the most commonly used method of creating or getting information in SAS, is importing the information in SAS. Okay. Now, if you see, there are some lines of code written down below, and what I'll try to do is I'll try to import a CSV file which is lying on my machine on this SAS system. Okay. So what I'll do is I have the CSV file on my machine, which is just only 3 variables: state, year, and population, and such kind of data sets could be easily created on the machine. I'll try to import this file into SAS. Okay, let me tell you again that this is a file lying on my machine, and I need to get this information into SAS. And how do I do that? This is what I'm talking about. So for that, I'll be using a data in file statement, which helps me locate where the file is lying. Okay, and then the other options like header of the table and then the name of the dataset that I need to put up. So if I just run this code, it gives me the same information which was earlier in CSV, now in a SAS table format.
And which other formats it can read?
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
So CSV format is something which is most commonly used, like the one I showed here. But other formats like TXT file, okay, could also be used. And TXT file, in fact, is the other most commonly used format while importing data in SAS. So CSV is there, TXT format is there, and even SAS supports Excel format directly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.